আজকে কি রে বলতো থাবড়া রে হ্যাপি থাবড়া ডে টু
Recording in progress.
It was all about what build and deploy process.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What was the last discussion?
It was build process, deploy process, and define compilers just in time, ahead of time, and we have
Did
deployed
you
it. Yeah.
did you give a try to deploy your project in GitHub?
No.
Okay. Whenever you try, let me know if you have any issues.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Can you share the link in WhatsApp, because after the session I closed the browser and I couldn't find the link again.
Yeah,
And
I'll do that.
not now, I mean sometime later.
Sure. So in that case, we are here now. We are done with deploying the project.
And I have a quick question here. So
Mhm.
you deployed the project in GitHub, you built it and you deployed it. So if I make any change, I know we need to build it again and we need to deploy it again,
Yeah, we need to push the changes again.
or just push the changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we need to run that command.
We need to run
Yeah, we need to run the command to build it, when to compile it, and then the compile code
compile
will.
after compiled.
Yeah, this.
So this is required. 2 and 3 are required.
Yes, yes.
2 or 3 are required.
In GH, I think it's pushing changes on.
Yeah. Every
Okay.
change we make, 2 and 3 we have to run.
Means you direct dist means repository name.
Dist is the folder that is getting
Folder.
generated after we do ng build.
Yes. I'm running this command only. He's told that error is coming because he's create a repository and push something. So then I'll try, is not completed, but today I also
You
try.
have a GitHub repository, right?
Yeah, sir.
If you have, then you should not see any error. Make sure you have a GitHub repository with this name.
Yeah.
Try today. If it
Yes,
is
sir.
not working, I'll help you tomorrow.
Yeah, yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. Let's do one thing. I think we can discuss unit testing after all these theories also. Fine. Let's discuss unit testing only. Fine. What is your understanding? What is unit testing and who should do it? Why it is required? Is it required or not required? Who should do it?
Developers should do it.
Why developers should do it? What is the need of unit testing?
Like to validate whatever the things we have written, like all possible combinations, like happy case and some unhappy case, it should not fail, so that later on we get less headache.
Okay. Yeah. So the way you might be knowing, we will have regression testing for every application. What do we mean by regression testing? Regression testing means testing people, they would have written lot of flows. They are expecting that all their flows are working fine. After every code push, that regression will run and they will see all the flows are working fine or not. I'm able to click buy now button or not. I'm able to click add to cart button or not. When I click on add to cart, that item is getting added to cart or not. So as a tester, testers will write regression test to validate the UI. The same way, as a developer, we should write unit testing to make sure all the logic that we have already written is working fine. And when somebody goes and manipulates one piece of code, that piece of code is not breaking any existing functionality. You will not believe, this is my live experience in my current project. What happened? There was a function. That function was taking 5 arguments, and there was no proper unit testing added for that function. What happened? One guy had a requirement. What did he do? He just added another uh, argument to that function. 6th one he added to make his requirement work, and he was happy with that. His requirement started working, but the existing things started failing because JavaScript doesn't check how many functions, how many arguments the function is expecting, how many arguments you are passing. That check is not there in JavaScript, right? Because of that, as he added one extra parameter and he wrote some if else things inside that function, it started breaking the existing functionality. When I spent some 2-3 hours, started debugging, I found that because of this new code, it's breaking. The control is always going to his flow. The control is not hitting the existing flow. I hope you understand, right? Now, in this case, if we would have had unit testing for that function, and if that unit testing code was written to validate the function takes 5 arguments, and as soon as you write, as soon as you add the 6th parameter, it should start failing, and it should say change your unit testing also. Whenever you are testing your actual code, whenever you are changing your actual code, change the unit testing code also. So there, this unit testing will help a lot. Also, one more thing I can say. Let's say we have written a function add. Add is a function. Add function is expecting 2 arguments, A and B, returns one addition result. What if inside the function I am writing return A minus B? So syntactically that function is completely fine, right? So anyone calls add function by passing 2 parameter, it returns a value. What value it returns doesn't matter, but it's working fine. So how can we find the logical problem that is there in a function? Finding syntactical problem, it is not our problem. JavaScript will take care of that. What if the syntax is looking good, but we have written some code? That code is not correct logically. Syntactically it is correct, but logically it is not correct. To find the logical problems present inside functions, if we write unit testing, we can easily catch them, right? Isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah. So unit testing is not to catch syntactical problems. Unit testing is there to catch logical problems. Okay. Unit testing is a type of software testing where individual units or components of a software is tested separately. So you will have unit testing for a component, we will have unit testing for a pipe, you will have unit testing for service. For every component, we will have unit testing, and we can test them isolate. The purpose of unit testing is to validate that each unit of the software code performs as expected. Unit testing is done during the development only, during the coding phase only by the developers. Unit test isolate a section of code and verify its correctness. Each function is working fine or not. each block is working fine or not, each component is working fine or not. We can validate a section. When we say a section can be a function, can be a block, can be a component, can be a pipe, or can be one object. Fine. In Angular project, if we want to add unit testing, what all tools we need? We need two things. One is a testing framework, one is test runner. Angular application, every Angular application comes with Jasmine and Karma. What is Jasmine? Jasmine is a framework for testing JavaScript code. Every Angular application comes with two things. One is Jasmine, the other one is Karma. Jasmine and Karma are two libraries. We don't have to install them in our Angular application. They will be there by default. If you ask me, why Jasmine? Can we use any other unit testing framework with Angular application? Yes, we can use. Angular people, they feel Jasmine is the best tool for Angular project. That is why that library is inbuilt in every Angular project. But if you want to use some other library, we are free to use. What is the similar libraries like Jasmine? Like Jasmine, we have Mocha. Mocha is one framework people are using instead of Jasmine. Yes, so in every Angular application, there will be a library called Jasmine, and there will be another library called Karma. What is this? It is a test runner. What is the job of this test runner? It runs the test cases. And generates the report. Okay, I can quickly show you how they are related.
What is Protractor, sir?
Protractor is different thing that will be used by testers for writing E2E testing, I think.
Okay.
Protractor. For E2E testing, not for unit testing. Okay, fine. Now, I was explaining what is Angular, what is Jasmine, and what is Karma. Okay. We have one component. The component name is app.component.ts. In this app component.ts, we have a lot of functions. We have F1 function. In F1 function, we have some logic. We have add function. We have some logic in add function. We have subtract function. We have some logic for that subtract function. There are three functions. If we want to validate app components, all the functions are working fine, we have to create a file. We have to create another file. The file name should be something like this: app.component.spec.ts. And please understand, in the main file, whatever is written, this is written in which language? What is this language?
TypeScript.
This is TypeScript. This is TypeScript. Okay. Now we will write unit testing. When we write unit testing, we will write describe. Inside describe, we will write it. Whatever we write in our unit testing file, this is which language?
TypeScript, I think.
No, this is not TypeScript. This is Jasmine. TypeScript or JavaScript. Let's call it JavaScript only. When we say JavaScript, it covers both. JavaScript doesn't have methods like describe, eat, expect. All these things are not there in JavaScript. Those APIs or those functions are from Jasmine. So we can, as a layman, we can say whatever code we write inside a unit testing file is Jasmine code. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So Jasmine is a language.
Jasmine is a language. So whatever we write in this unit testing file is Jasmine code. If I open any Angular application and we'll see how it looks like, I'll open app.component.spec.ts. So here we have describe. Who gives this describe function? Who gives
Jasmine.
this describe function? Jasmine.
Jasmine.
There is written before each. Who gives this before each function?
Jasmine.
Jasmine. There is something called it. Who gives this? Jasmine. There is something called expect. Who gives this? Jasmine. To equal Jasmine. Expect Jasmine. So whatever is written in this file is Jasmine code. Yeah. So our actual component will be written in JavaScript. Unit testing code will be written in Jasmine. Now there is another person. There is a mediator, Karma. What this guy will do, whatever Jasmine code we have written, it will go to this. It will run this code against this actual code. It will run this code against the actual code. Let's say we have add function. To validate add function, we have written some test cases. It will go and validate against the actual code and it will generate a report. This Karma, what is the duty of Karma? It will run all the test cases. It takes the responsibility to run the test cases. It will run the test cases written in this file. After it runs the test cases, it will have the report. It will tell you, hey, in your component, you have 3 functions. Out of 3 functions, 1 out of 3 are covered. Or indirectly, it will say 33% is covered. So it will say, hey, in your actual component, you have 3 functions. But why are you validating only 1 function here? So your coverage is only 30%. Please try to improve. Do you understand what is JavaScript, what is Jasmine, and what is Karma?
Yes.
So we understand, but how it validate the functions? I didn't get.
Yeah. Or the code we will write.
Okay.
Yeah. So did we understand what is the job of Jasmine and what is Karma? Who
Yes.
sits where? Huh?
Looks like Karma is a compile, right?
Karma is a compiler, you can say. Karma is a test runner, you can say. Huh?
Intermediate.
Yeah, it's a test runner. Whatever test case you will write in your file, test case file, Karma takes the responsibility to run all your test cases, and it will check all the test cases are valid or not. If they are valid, how many test cases you have written. Your test case will be validated against the actual code, and it will at the end it will give you a report. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, how to run unit testing in an Angular project? To run unit testing in one Angular project, there is already one predefined command. The predefined command is ng-test. But if I run ng-test in one existing project, there will be a lot of errors or the percentage will be very low because we kept adding a lot of components, pipes, directives. We didn't write the unit testing for them, right? That is the problem. Okay, when we say ng test, indirectly we are asking Karma to run all the test cases available in our project. So Karma runs all the test cases and it is about to show a result. So it is saying total zero success. Total zero success. Why total zero success? Lot of failures are there, lot of errors are there. Do you see? Hmm? Do you see this? Huh? Yeah, because of this, as we have errors in our project, because of that, it is not able to generate report. For unit testing, I will not use this project. I will use a separate project now. So for unit testing, I'll use a separate project. Let me open that project. I'll go to UI, go UI, Angular, and there is one project for unit testing. I'll open that. Unit testing demo. I'll open this. This is a fresh project. We don't have many components, many pipes here. Let me open this project. This is a new Angular project. Please try to do it in a new project. It will be easy. I'll delete all the things that is written here. I'll delete everything that is written here. Don't worry. I'm not going to show you the existing code. I'll delete. Fine. So this is a new project. In this project, we have nothing else, only app component is there. If I want to run unit testing for this project, what is the command?
ng test.
ng test. If you want to generate report also, ng test hyphen code coverage is equal to true. So ng test hyphen code coverage equal to true. When you run this command, it will run all your test cases. It will run all your test cases. And it will show the code coverage also. Code coverage means for the actual code, how much unit testing is written, whether you have written enough unit testing or not. And if your coverage is going below 80%, your manager will not allow you to commit your code. Sometimes they will add this check in the CI/CD pipeline itself. If your code is not having 80% unit testing, your code cannot be pushed to repository. Yeah. Now it says one test case is executed one of one, and that is success. It means you have written unit testing for one file, but that is success. But you don't have enough coverage. When we don't have enough coverage, what does it mean? It says you have 40% statement coverage, you have 0 branch coverage, you have 0 function coverage, you have 40% line coverage. Why it is so? Because you have added unit test case, but you have a test file, but you don't have enough test cases. Now let's see, if you search with .spec, you will get to know how many test cases are there. There are 2 test cases, test files. One is app.component.spec.ts. The other one is ordinal.pipe.spec.ts. So it is one empty file. It is not considering that. The other one is app.component.spec.ts. spec.ts. And why this coverage is 40%, 0% and all? Because we have enough code written, we don't have enough unit testing written. Now, if we go to our app component.ts, if we go to our app component.ts, if you go to our app component.ts, you can see our app component.ts has a lot of code. It has cars array, it has addition method, subtraction method, multiplication method, is even method. There are a lot of methods we have. If you delete them, your coverage will be more. If you comment them, your coverage will be more. You see, your coverage is 100%, right? Hmm? Suppose your manager will ask you, create one addition program. If you are told to create one addition program, what you will do? In app component.html, you will have input box, you will have add button, right? You will have addition button, subtraction button, right? When you add input box and buttons, definitely you will add actual code, right? When you add actual code for them, actual code will look like this, right? You will have to add addition function, subtraction function, is even, is odd. When you add all these function in your TS file, your unit testing will go down. Is it clear why the unit testing is going down?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Yes. The unit testing will go down if you keep adding more and more and more function in your component. Now, how to increase it again? To increase it, we have to write unit testing. For all these functions, you have to add unit testing. Now let's add unit testing for addition. Now total how many functions we have in our app component?
5,
4.
4.
4.
For how many functions we have written unit testing?
0.
Oh,
0.
0.
0. Now we will write unit testing. For addition, let us write. If we want to write unit testing for addition, see, these two things will be already there when you create the component, but still I will explain you what is this. Whenever you create a component, along with the component, there will be a unit testing file also. In this unit testing file, the very first thing is describe. What is describe? In Jasmine, there is a predefined function describe, and this describe is used to create a test suite. What is why we use describe function? To create a test suite. Why we use describe function? To create a, am I audible?
To create a test suite.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is test suite?
Testing
Collection of
function. Test.
collection of test cases, right? Right? And inside describe, we can have lot of it. What is the use of it? To create one test case, right? How can we create a test suite using describe method? How can we create a test case using it method? Is it clear? Yes. Now, if we look at here, our program has one test suite, one test case. In this test case, what are we doing? We are creating app component and we are checking app component is created or not. Now what we will do, we will validate our addition function. To validate our addition function, we will add one more it. It will take two things. One is a message. It should validate add method. Then here we will write our logic. What is the logic? First we will create a fixture, then we will create the app. Once the app is created, we will validate the function is working fine or not. So we will say expect app dot addition to be defined. App component should have addition function. Whether it has or not, it should have. Then expect type of app dot addition to be a function. It should be a function. Expect app dot addition if I call by passing 2 and 3 dot to be 5. If I call addition function by passing 2 and 3, it should be 5. Is it returning? I don't think it is returning.
What is
You
the
see,
test bed you wrote? Test bed or something you wrote?
so these two lines are used to create one instance of the component.
Okay.
So we
Default
have to
of the Jasmine. Default
create
of
the
Jasmine.
instance of that component.
Okay.
Yes. See, when we call this function, what it is doing? When we call this function, it is updating a variable add result, right?
Yes.
It is not returning anything. Is it returning?
No.
So what it is doing?
Just assigning value to third variable.
Add result, right? It is just assigning the value to add result.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we will do, we don't have to expect something. We will just call this function. We will just call this function. And after this function is called, we will expect app dot add result dot to be 5. If I call addition function by passing 2 and 3, then add result should be 5. Next. If I call by passing 2 and minus 3, it should be minus 1. If I call addition function by passing minus 2 and minus 3, it should be minus 5. So all these use cases we can validate whether it is working fine or not. So once we write all those things, you see what is the function coverage now?
25%.
Why it is 25%?
Because we have written test case for one method out of 4.
Total how many functions are there in our component?
4.
4. Out of 4, how many test cases are written?
1.
That is why it is 25%, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, let's try to cover subtraction function. Again, we will write another it should validate subtraction method. Here what we will do, we will create the instance of the component. Once the instance is created, then we will say key subtraction method should be there in this component. Then we will say key it should be a function. Then if we call app.subtraction, it is returning some value. Let's validate that. Expect app.subtraction. If I call by passing 5 and 3, it should return me 2 value. If I call by passing 50 and 30, it should return me 20. If I call by passing 10 and 20, it should return me minus 10, right? Like this, we can add lot of expectations. After
One
this, if
question.
you,
If you write the wrong result, -10, if you write the 10 plus 10, will it?
if you write wrong result,
Yes.
if you say 20 and 10, it should be 10, but I am writing -10. So in my unit testing only, I have some problem, right?
Yes.
When we have some problem in our unit testing, the unit testing will fail here. And if you go to the browser, you will see what is failing. So it will show the failing unit test case. It will say there are 3 specs, 1 failure. What is the failure? This is for app component. Should validate subtraction method. It is failing. Expected 10, but actual is -10. You are expecting 10.
Yes.
Expected is 10 to be -10. So here you are writing -10, but it should be 10. Now you will come and check here. Is it the problem in my unit testing, or is it the problem because of my code? If it is the problem with your unit testing, you will change it to valid value. After that, it will again pass and there is no failure here. And now what is the report?
50%.
What is function coverage?
50%.
50%. What is not yet covered?
Branch.
Multiplication. Multiplication method is not covered. So let's cover multiplication. I'll copy paste. No need to write again and again.
Yes.
I'll cover multiplication. The function name is multiplication. So all these places, it should be multiplication. So multiplication should be there. It should be function. If I call by passing 5 and 3, it should be 15. 50 and 30, it should be 1500. 20 and 10, it should be 200. 20 and 10, it should be 200. Now if we go and see how many are passing, add, multiplication, subtraction, 4 its are there. This is described. Each bullet point is it. Now what is the coverage? The coverage should be it stopped. So if it stopped, I'll stop. I'll kill the process and I'll start again. Sometimes it is not able to check your changes. So you can see it started again with a new report. The report should be 75%. The report should be 75%. What I'm doing. What is the function coverage?
75.
75. Now there is another function is even. Let's try that. For that, I'll add another it. It should validate is even method. Now here we will say when we pass a number to is even, it returns even or odd string. Expect app.isEven to be defined. Expect isEven is a function. Then expect app.isEven if I call by passing 4, it should be returning me even value. Okay, now if we check the report is saying functions. What is function coverage?
100%, 4 out of 4.
What is branch coverage?
50%.
Why branch coverage is 50%?
We
Because
only spec one spec.
we have if else. Only if is covered, else is not covered.
Oh,
You can see the report also. You can see the report also. How to see the report? Go here. Go to your project. Inside the project, there will be a coverage folder. What is the folder? Coverage. Go inside this coverage folder. Inside coverage folder, project, and click this index.html. App index.html. So, maybe I have to run it again. I'll run it again. Give me a second. I'll run it again. I can delete this coverage folder itself. I can delete this coverage folder. It will automatically generate again. I'll go and add ng. It is already running, right? We will say ng test --code coverage equal to true. So when we run this, it will show the coverage here also, and it will generate a folder also. Now, if we go and check, a coverage folder is generated. Inside this coverage, if you open index.html, it is showing. What is the statement coverage?
90%.
Same result it is showing here also, right? If you click on the file, it will show you what is covered, what is not covered. What is not covered? Only 27 line is not covered. Right?
okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So it will show in red color if something is not covered. So you will have a better visibility, what is covered, what is not covered. Accordingly, you can write your unit test. So to cover this, we have to write else part also. So let's write else part also. If I call 5, it should return me odd. Now everything is 100%, 100%. Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
If you refresh, what is statement coverage?
100%.
branch,
100.
function, lines.
100. Branch means what exactly?
Hmm.
Branch means exactly what is that?
Branch means if else condition.
Okay. So there is two conditions inside this project. That's a true branch. If I would have in addition one or two if else, my branch count will be increased like that.
Correct. Correct. Now what is the unit testing percent? 100%. Now
100.
I can commit my code.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Tomorrow you came to office. Your manager told, okay, create a pipe, ordinal pipe. What you will do? You
So
will
you
create
don't do anything with the
ng.
describe, the beginning one that you started something describe was written.
The describe and all will be there for sure.
Okay.
Now your code coverage is 100%. Tomorrow your manager told you, hey, create a ordinal pipe. What you will do? You will create a ordinal pipe, right? And you will use it in your HTML, right?
Yes.
When you added this file, as soon as you add this file, what will happen? Again, the test case the coverage will go down. Testing ordinal pipe. So testing ordinal pipe. So your coverage will go down. What will happen? The coverage will go down, right? What is the coverage? Now let's see. It is unknown. Why it is unknown? Because something went wrong. I have to stop it and start again. Hmm. When I stop it and start again, it will give me a new report. Why? We added a pipe. Because of that pipe, okay, looks like it is mandatory. Let's add it also. When we add it, it should validate the ordinal pipe. Okay, let's see now. Yeah. So here we will create one instance. Let's say I will say let pipe equal to new ordinal pipe. New ordinal pipe. Ordinal pipe is not taking any argument, so it should be fine. New ordinal pipe. And ordinal pipe should be imported. Yeah. When I added this, what happened? My statement coverage is what?
Reduced.
61. Branch coverage is what? 28. Line coverage is what? 61. Why it came down?
I need to check some extra
Because
thing.
because you have some component change, but you don't have unit testing, right? You have added some component code. You have not added unit testing for them, right? Isn't
Yes.
it?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Now it will increase only if you add unit testing. So only adding the component code is not enough. We have to write unit testing also for them. Now how you will add unit testing? So you will say, okay, instance is created. Now let's see if it is fine. Okay. So pipe has a transform method. I'll say if I call transform method of this pipe by passing 21, expect
Hello.
pipe dot transform method
Hello.
is,
Hello.
if I call by passing 21, am I audible?
Hi, Ravindra.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So if I call transform method by passing 21, it should return me 20 fast, right? 21 means 21 ST. Yeah, it should return me 20 fast. What is the failure? Expected 21st to be empty. Maybe I have to run it again. Let me stop and start. So what is the expectation if I call transform method of that pipe by passing 21? It should give me 20 fast. Yeah, it is working fine. The coverage should be increased. The coverage is increased. It was 26, now it increased it to 42. How many total branches we have? 7. How many we have covered? 3, right?
3.
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes.
We have to increase because it is a switch case. You have to cover all the case. If you go and see, it will tell you the figure. It will tell you that, okay, you have this pipe, but for this pipe, only case 1 is covered. Case 2, 3, 4 default is not covered. Do you see?
Yes, sir.
Hmm? Is it clear
Yes, sir.
how it
Yes,
is
sir.
showing the report? Now we have to cover all the cases. To cover all the cases, we have to write lot of expects. If I pass 22, it should be 22 ND. If I pass 23, it should be 23 RD. If I pass 24, it should be 24 TH. So after this, there is one default also. If you pass wrong, see now what is the branch coverage?
85.
So which branch is not covered now?
Invalid.
Default.
Hmm?
Default one.
Default one is, yeah. So if I pass something like this, it should be invalid input. Now everything is 100% again, right? Do you see?
Yes, sir.
So the amount of code you write, same amount of unit testing also you have to write.
The last one is not an invalid input, right? So that should be that many number and th, right?
Yeah, as per our logic.
Yeah.
Per our logic, we can always change these things.
Okay.
What logic we have written, that also matter, right? We are just dividing by 10. If the reminder, okay. Okay.
It will go to the fourth one, no?
Divide by 10.
It will be 7.
If we divide it by 10, it is 7. There is no 7 added here. So it is going to default, right?
Okay, got it.
No.
Even for 27, it should give invalid input. Right?
Yes, got it. Like for pipe, you need to create an instance like new ordinal pipe. How will you know? How shall we know that what all things we should do for API call and other things?
No, I didn't get you.
Like earlier example, you did not create any instance. It was a simple add example. Now here it is a pipe. You created an instance of it, like new ordinal pipe, like that way, and pipe dot transform. You are getting calling it. Uh, like there are many flavors of it. Maybe to get those things available into the spec file. So how do we come to know all those things? Like for
No,
API call.
it will give you. If I create another pipe, see, if I'll create a pipe, ng, do I have a pipes folder? Custom pipes is a folder. ng generate pipe custom pipes slash what else? Search. I'm creating a search pipe. When I'm creating a search pipe, ng generate pipe custom pipes search. Automatically the unit testing file will be given to you and you will see some minimum code here. If you go to search pipe.ts, you have some minimum code you see.
Oh, that instance is getting created automatically.
The minimum thing will be there. Extra logic we have to write.
Yes, yes.
For service also the minimum code will be there for you. Extra logic we have to write. If we create a component also for that, minimum things will be there. If I create a component header, ng generate components header, it will create 4 files. One of them will be unit testing,
Right.
and the minimum code will be there. Components header. This is the main one. This is the one. You see the fixture component. All these things will be there for you.
Okay, okay.
Got it now?
Yes, got it.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry for the minimum configuration. We just have to add the extra logic. So if you create a component, it gives you an empty component, it gives you an empty unit testing file. If you run, it will be 100% now because there is no extra code you write.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is still 100%. You see,
Yes, sir.
somewhere it is 87. And why it is 87 if you want to check, go and see. See, this is the list, right? Everything is passing.
Correct.
So when you add only, it will fail or the percentage will go down. Now let's see why it is less. It is less in search pipe. It is less in search pipe. What is not covered?
Null.
Transform method is not covered,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In case of get call, let's say
So
JSON, you are making a fake JSON call and getting some data to show the product list. So what should we check? Like API call
we
get.
should have a sample response. We should have a sample response, and after getting the response from the actual API, we should match that sample JSON is matching with the actual JSON.
Value will not be same, right? Or the parameters we should check.
Not value, the structure.
Structure. Okay.
Yeah. So when we get one response, we should check ki my response should contain products array. My
Okay.
response should have products. Products length should be greater than 0. All these things we can validate. We can Google it. Angular unit testing for API response with mock data. My internet is very slow.
Something else
It's
open.
not working.
Okay.
Fine. Let's do one thing. You practiced this much today. Am I audible? Am I clear?
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Okay, not sure why my internet is not working.
No, you are audible. You are audible.
I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But still, I see your internet is unstable. And when I search something, it is not letting me search.
Search in different browser, maybe something happening.
Ah, You can see how long it takes. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
please
Yeah.
practice this much. We'll continue from here tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
I'll
That's
close the
fine.
session little early today.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Chalo,
Good night.
see you tomorrow.
Good night. Yeah. Testing. API more data. The JSON data. So this is our first one. Your JSON data is this much. Here is an example of the data you might want to get explained from an API. Then move to the data. Get post get who is post one. Wait. Users array আছে then click next, configure a few more options. Okay. Auth service. Okay. Describe your component before each auth service. Login components. Yeah, after each two, after each two, before each, after each. Local service component. Making the classes. Describe. Model version. Scratches. হ্যাঁ কি বলছিস তুই কল করতে পারছিস না নাকি